Welcome back. Welcome back to the Kovacs Report. The reviews continue this week with Batman issue number 4 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. So this book has been pretty good so far. I know there are detractors out there, but I think there are more fans for this book. It is the best mainline Batman book we've had in quite a long time. It's big, it's bold, it's very, very bright, and it looks damn fine art-wise. So there's a lot going on. We're going to do a quick catch-up, but before that, don't forget there are going to be a ton of spoilers, so please do read the book first. Like the video if you can, and if you have time, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd really, really appreciate it. So what's going on? Well, there is a lot. We've got Vandal Savage, the current GCPD police commissioner, framing Batman for the murder of 2 cops, coercing another cop to corroborate the story. We have Batman himself, Bruce Wayne, struggling with some personal trauma, the fallout, the effect that his vigilante life has on his relationships and his family and his friends, while being aided by sort of holographic, ghostly Alfred, helping him solve clues. Plus, we've got the Riddler who's after this artifact. What is that artifact? Well, it's the Crown of Storms, a device made by Dr. Annazella, a mind-altering device which she's been using on inmates at Arkham Asylum. Now, Batman, he discovers that his company, Wayne Enterprises, is actually funding some of this, and there's more to this story than meets the eyes. On top of that, we have the underworld getting very, very organized with this new villain, the Minotaur, which looks pretty damn cool. So that's what you need to know. Let's get into this book. There he is in all his glory. Cool looking helmet. So we find out that the night before there's been a lot going on in Gotham. There's been a firefight in the port of Gotham, an ambush actually. So somebody was set up. We've got fires burning. We've got businessmen being gunned down. We've got all sorts of hell breaking loose. And it looks like it's happening between the gangs. Now, overlooking this in the financial district is the bank. This is part of this sprawling criminal organization, the bank, right? It gets explained later on, actually. Now, I want to just quickly say, you're going to go, okay, another villain, another Kingpin-esque villain, organized crime. But what they've done here is actually something kind of cool. He is a trope, but his backstory, or what we know about how he sort of runs his day to day, is really, really interesting, and he's quite brutal. So we find out 2 nights ago, the Clanuri and the Black Fang gangs ran a job they tried to keep off books from the bank, with the former paying the latter in uncut stones to Fang-O, the Thieves Guild. Said stones were cleverly stashed in a Benza truck's gas tank. Of course, some random rat-ass undergang tries to boost said truck. The truck jackers get got. GCPD impounds the truck. Nobody gets paid. And then last night, chaos ensues. Now, 3 of our partners are locked into a gang war over a stupid coincidence. And the Minotaur says, no, coincidence only brings good fortune. This is a conspiracy. We have a rat. Find them. And in the meantime, ... freeze all of the money. Freeze all of the money in the bank accounts of 3 of these gangs, the Capitalinas, the Clanuri Interlope, Dantai Tozuki, and the Thieves, the Black Fang, and the Penitentiaria. So again, not 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 gangs, okay? And the bank being the 7th part of this huge sort of organized criminal undergoing in Gotham. Anyway, he says, freeze their money, because it seems that's all they care about. So if he frees their money, we'll get their attention. He says, none of these animals can have any until they learn to act like men. The Minotaur calls for parley. I'm in the mood to ruin everyone's night. So cool your little Morlocks in the sewers and drop the smoke. And that's what starts happening all over the city. This red smoke is found coming out of sewers and everywhere else. It's a signal for all the gangs, all of the criminal underworld to meet for this big conversation. And this is part of the book which I found a little bit cheesy. I think it was a bit overdone. This Dr. Zella, they're trying to make her this super intelligent, zany, haven't got time, to waste because, I'm such a superpower brain and, blah, blah, blah. And what she does, she ignores who comes in the room, who happens to be Bruce Wayne. And she's there with her sort of holographic screens working out while she's working out. Anyway, the joke is she finally realizes it's Bruce Wayne and she's embarrassed. And, oh dear, what have I done? I'm so embarrassed, Bruce. And he says, listen, I want to know everything about what you're doing. I want to know what's going on with this Crown of Storms. We have a date. So she has a little date. And then there's a little joke in the bit. Oh my God, you've got a date with Bruce Wayne, have I? You better change your shoes because she's wearing, what they call Crocs. Again, this I felt really, really cringy. Okay, it felt really, really cringy, but it doesn't in any way ruin the rest of the book. I just thought it could have been done a little bit better. But anyway, that's just a personal gripe of mine. So where do we go on from here? Now, I've noticed actually something here as well, is that there's a lot to do with numbers here. Okay, we're issue number 4, and they mention 4 alarms, 3 businessmen, and then we get to 3 issues ago, 2 of this, 6 minutes later. There's a lot of numbers in this. I'm not sure if that has some kind of underlaying sort of hint at something. I'm not sure at all, but it's just there. It's very noticeable. Anyway, there was a side story. This young lad got a video on his phone of Bruce Wayne, or rather Batman, being framed for the murder of these 2 cops. And he's gone to someone else who lives in his building, who's a bit of a sort of disgraced journalist, okay, who's a drunk and got fired. And he decides to try and help him by going to the Gotham Evening News, I guess. But he's thrown out immediately by the editor there. You're a drunk, get out. They don't really want to believe him. But that's a side story which I think is developing. Now, back to Anarchy. He was part of one of the heists in the last issue, which went terribly wrong. Now, while that's happening, we see all the smoke coming out from the sewers and everywhere else across all the sort of territories of Gotham where these criminals are getting the message it's time to talk. Now, Batman decides to pay a visit to Anarchy here, and this is done really, really well. I love this, right? Because at the moment, he's panicking. He's trying to get out. He is actually in trouble because the gangs are after him now as well, okay? But as he's trying to escape, these 2 hoods come flying through the window, and he goes, "Oh, I've got to get out of here." There's a little note left on a buddy. "Friends of yours?" That seems pretty stupid, B. And you know that B stands for Batman. So, of course, he does what everyone would do. He gets terrified. He makes run for it. He decides his only hope is to jump out of a window, and Bats is waiting, catches him in midair. Really bloody cool sequence. I really, really like this. That little cheesy thing we had earlier has been brought right back to coolness with this scene. It looks really, really cool. He tries to run. He puts up a fight, but old Batsy gets the upper hand as he does. He's like, "Listen, you have gangs of goons lurking around your squat waiting to get you. This doesn't add up. How did a truck you didn't steal make Anarchy the Gotham's underworld's most wanted?" He says, "I don't know, man. I swear. I got paid to boost the truck and dump it into the river. That's all I know. But everything went bad." He says, "Dead river, dead flunky, dead cops, the Black Fang, the Besners, and the Thieves Guild gunning for each other and for you. Bad undersells it, Lonnie." So he's in trouble. He said, "Listen, you got to protect me. I'll turn evidence. I'll do whatever I can. Just help me out here." Well, Batman's not convinced he knows everything here. He says, "I don't have time to mess with you. What's going on?" And he says, "Listen, haven't you noticed everything's quiet, right? Everything's gone quiet. And that should signal something, Bruce," or rather Batman. I keep calling him Bruce. "And that should signal that something is going on by the fact that all these gangs are remaining quiet." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Listen, these gangs are really getting organized. There's another big bad in Gotham that's organizing them." And we meet them all here, actually. No less Vandal Savage's Bristol townhouse here, the old Wayne Manor. He, of course, is one of the bad guys. He, of course, is part of all this conspiracy that's going on. Now, all of the heads of these families are here to meet, okay? It's called the Taurus, actually. The Taurus shall reap, he says, where there is value, there is crime. Where there is crime, there is profit. And where there is profit, the Taurus shall reap. So I guess the Taurus is the sort of overarching name for all of this. It's pretty interesting. He says, "Listen, a Taurus is one of the prime knots, 7 independent yet interconnected loops made unbreakable together, just like us." Then we get introduced to each of the 6 families, and the Minotaur here being the 7th, the bank. And he controls all of the money, right? He manages all interscene contracts and trade rates, and he keeps your money flowing clean and insured, and it works as long as the 7 of us work together in harmony. Okay, but harmony has been broken because these gangs are fighting each other. And he says, "Listen, I thought, money might be a good enough reason to get you here by stopping your money, but I need a little bit of extra here. So I brought members of your family. Your members of your family are here behind me." And you see he's got all of his goons there with weapons drawn. And he doesn't mess about. He says, "Listen, you need to listen to me. Okay, we've got the police force, we've got City Hall, we've got the press on our side. Let's not mess this up." And just to really, really, really drive the point home, he kills all of these family members just so they know. He says, listen, if one of us bleeds, we all bleed. And then we're back to bats trying to track down the Minotaur. Now, I thought this was really, really cool. I love this brutal end here. He is not messing about, and he must hold some incredible power. I know he controls the money, but he must have more than just the sort of purse strings. But murdering members of their sort of criminal families and probably real families, that is a bold move. He's making more enemies than friends here. But there's a lot of money to be had, he says. He says, listen, this could have been very, very successful. In 20 months, the Taurus will control a piece of every revenue stream in Gotham, criminal or legitimate. In 20 years, the world. So he has a sort of like his eyes set on more than Gotham. I wonder why that sort of red light flashes in his helmet. It looks really, really cool. I have no idea who he is. But again, numbers, maybe I'm just overanalyzing this. 4.4 million, they're all down by 4.4 million. 3 days later, 3 businessmen killed. 4 of these, well, I don't know. I guess the numbers kind of could relate to the fact that's what, the Minotaur deals with numbers, money. Maybe there's some kind of clue in there. I don't know. Or you're going to turn back in a month and go, Angelo, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with it at all. But it's interesting. I'm really, really enjoying this new villain. I thought it was going to be one of your run-of-the-mill villains, another one that's sort of pulling the strings of all the other gangs. And he's got to take him down and everything will be okay. But there's more to it, I think. More to it indeed. So very, very, very enjoyable issue number 4. Do I have anything negative to say about it other than that sort of cheesy moment, the sort of possible romance that's maybe not sort of brewing between Anna Casella and Bruce? I don't know. But we didn't find out more about her Crown of Thorns device and what's going on in Arkham. So I'm guessing we're going to find out more about that in the next issue. But there's enough here to want me to come back next month. The art's as lovely as you'd expect it to be, It's bright and bold and everything else. And the story, again, like I say, it's interesting. Even if it is old, it's new again, and I'm really enjoying it. There we go. We got a good Batman book. And I think we got another good Batman book to review this week, which is Night Fight, issue number 2. We'll get to that in another review. Anyway, there we go. Those are my thoughts. Do let me know yours. Be very interested to hear what you think about this run. Like the video if you can. Hit subscribe too. Really appreciate it. Take care now.